Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down the Honda CB200X. Now, this is a motorcycle that looks like it's ready to conquer the wilderness, but it's actually built to be a master of the urban jungle. So, let's get into why that is.
Okay, so let's just jump right in with the big question that really led to this bike's existence. There's this huge trend in India right now where riders absolutely love the tough, aggressive look of an adventure bike. But let's be real, most of their riding happens in city traffic. So how do you build a bike for that person? Well, here's what Honda came up with, the CB200X. And they gave it a very specific nickname, the Urban Explorer. And you know what? That's not just some slick marketing term. It really tells you exactly who this bike is for, and maybe more importantly, who it's not for. So what is the CB200X really? Let's take a closer look at the little niche Honda is trying to carve out in the Indian market with this very specific machine. Right from the start, let's get one thing straight. Honda isn't trying to pull a fast one on anybody. If you're looking for a hardcore, trail-bashing off-roader, this isn't it. This machine was born and bred for city streets, maybe with a little fun on some light, broken B roads, but that's about its limit.
And here is the secret to the whole thing. The key to understanding the CB200X is that it isn't a brand new adventure bike. Nope. It's actually built on the tried and true foundation of the Honda Hornet 2.0, which is a fantastic city bike. That means its entire skeleton, the frame, the suspension, the engine, it's all pure street bike. Okay, so if it's a Hornet underneath, how does Honda create that adventure-ready illusion? Well, it's all in the details, and that's what we're going to look at now.
So how did they do it? Well, they basically took the Hornet and bolted on a whole bunch of adventure-inspired parts. You've got a tall windscreen, those knuckle guards with the turn signals built right in, and a really beefy sculpted fuel tank that kind of gives you vibes of the much bigger CB500X. All these pieces come together to give the CB200X this amazing presence, that big bike feel that so many riders are after. Now, this is where things get interesting. The handlebars are wide, so your upper body is in this upright, commanding position, just like on an adventure tour. You get a great view of everything. But, and this is a big but, the foot pegs are in the exact same spot as the sporty Hornet 2.0, so your legs are in this more tucked, sporty position. It's a really unique mix of two completely different riding styles on one motorcycle. So what does that mean for comfort? Well, the seat, while it looks great, is a pretty big clue. As the folks over at Motoring World pointed out, it just doesn't have the kind of under-thigh support you need for a really long ride. This pretty much confirms its identity as a city bike, not a cross-country tourer. All right, enough about looks. Let's talk about what happens when the rubber actually meets the road. How does this Urban Explorer really perform? Let's dig into the numbers. Now, if you know the Hornet, these specs are going to look super familiar because they're the exact same. We're talking about a 184.4cc single-cylinder engine. It's not built to win any drag races. Instead, it's all about that legendary Honda refinement, total reliability, and a nice, smooth power delivery. In other words, perfect for slicing through city traffic. But all that adventure styling? Well, it comes at a cost. And in this case, the cost is weight. Compared to the Hornet 2.0, the CB200X is carrying an extra 5 kilograms. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but it does make a difference. So yeah, that extra weight means the acceleration is just a little bit slower than its Street Fighter sibling. The top speed, though, is pretty much the same. But reviewers all agree on what really matters in the city. The engine is incredibly smooth, the power comes on predictably, and the gear shifts are just slick and reliable. It's still an incredibly agile and easy-to-handle bike in traffic. Okay, so let's boil all this down. When you put everything together, it really comes down to one big question. Is that adventure look really worth the extra money? And here is the cost of that look. The CB200X is going to set you back about 13,000 rupees more than the Hornet 2.0 it's based on. So what you're really paying for is the styling, the wider seat, and that awesome commanding stance. So let's just lay it all out. This bike is definitely for you if you want that awesome big bike presence, that legendary Honda reliability, and a machine that's an absolute breeze to handle in the city. But you probably want to look somewhere else if you need a real off-roader, if you're looking for thrilling power, or if you need a comfy seat for all-day trips, especially if you feel like you're just paying extra for a new outfit. And at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. The Honda CB200X is a proven, super reliable city bike that's dressed up for an adventure it's not really built for. It's a brilliant bike for someone who wants the look and the feel without needing the hardcore off-road capability. And the only person who can decide if that trade-off is worth it is you.